Hi guys, Still a Lady here again. Right, so today we're going to be making some sausage rolls, some homemade sausage rolls, one of my favourite things in the world. So I'll bring you down and I'll show you all the ingredients that I've got. Right, so for these I'm going to do some rough puff pastry. So I've got some plain flour there, obviously some salt, and I've got this, I'm going to use a full block of butter. This has actually been in the freezer because I'm going to grate it. So we'll need it nice and cold, and it's easier to grate when it's frozen like that. And for the sausage itself, I'm going to make it from mince. So I've got a pack of lean pork mince, and we also had some pork mince in the freezer, which I've just brought out yesterday to defrost. I've also got some sage to go in there. Got some spring onions to go in there, and also some bread. Again, a bit of stale bread. I'm going to blitz that up as well. Now, if you didn't have any of these ingredients, the one thing you could use is a bit of sage and onion stuffing mix in with your pork. Beautiful. So I'm going to do one ordinary, which is just your sausage meat, sausage rolls, and I'm going to do a flavoured one as well. And I found this apple and pear chutney. Where was it from? I think it was from Aldi's or Lidl's, whichever one, I can't quite remember. Lidl's. Got that the other day because I thought the apple, the fruitiness would go nice with the pork. So the first thing we'll do is we'll get on with making our pastry. Right guys, so I have weighed out 500 grams of plain flour. I've just got that in the bowl. Now we're making rough puffs, so I just want to grate the butter. Like I say, I've had it in the freezer. I've got my grating tool on here. Now you can do it on an ordinary grater. That's not a problem. But as I have this here, I may as well use it. So I've already cut it into strips before I put it in the freezer. Oh, help if I turn the machine on. What I'll do is I'll just hand grate these just little bits here into there. Pop that to one side. This. A bit of salt in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll grate these little bits straight in. I thought if there's a couple of bits like that in there. So this is the rough puff pastry. I've done puff pastry before. This one is a bit easier. You can see if there's lumps like that, I'm not bothered. It's all going to get stretched out in the pastry and everything anyway. So, put that in there now. Quickly wash my hands. Put that there. And put your grated butter in with this as well. You can do it in still lumps as well. You don't have to grate it, but I just find it seems to incorporate better if you do grate the butter. And try and keep it as cold as you can. So, and then, oh, I thought I'd dropped some there. And then just incorporate it nicely in there. Right, so I'm just going to clean up a little bit and get some water, and I'll come back to you. Right, so that's all that in. I've just got a little knife. You can put some water in. Now this will absorb a bit more water because it's pure, apart from the bits of butter. The flour hasn't got anything else to stop it from absorbing, so it will absorb quite a bit more water. I think it's about time I got in with my hands. I'll just see if we can get it together. Yeah, I think it needs quite a bit more water in there. So this will give you results a bit like puff pastry, but obviously it's easier to make. Not quite as good, but it's a lot simpler than puff pastry. I've made quite a bit here because I am doing a few sausage rolls, and if you're going to go to this sort of bother to make your own pastry, then I like to have some to use that's in the freezer. Freezes brilliantly for up to about 3 months. To be honest, I've had bits of pastry in the freezer longer than that and still been fine. Okay, so just get it so it comes together in a nice ball. A little drop more. It took nearly the whole 350 mils of water that I had. That's it. The last little bits from the bottom. Right. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit, and then we'll roll it out. This one you roll straight away, and then you can put it in the fridge to set. You just give me 2 more minutes, and then we'll start the rolling process. Right guys, so I've gotten it out of the bowl. I've just flattened it up and put a little bit of flour on the base. Make sure, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll it. I'm going to try my best to keep it in the rectangle shape. It's not always that easy. Here we go. You can still, I don't know whether you can, I'll just bring you closer a little bit. See all of the little bits of grated butter in there? It's exactly what we want. So move you back just slightly. Right. There we go. Just going to keep rolling. Put more flour on here. And the rolling pin. Rid of the sleeve. So we'll have comments, I'm sure. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this quarter, this third to there, and then that third to there. And this is, like I say, this is not like puff pastry where you have to chill it after each one. This one you can just do all of your rolling many times as you want and then chill the pastry down. I'm just going to turn it around there. Oh, give myself enough room here, am I? Just keep going. It's a pretty forgiving pastry, this one, so you know you can be a little bit heavy-handed with it if you need to be. And all this is doing here is just creating the layers. Again, I'm just going to put a third across there. Oh, stuck a little bit. Third there. More flour, so it doesn't stick on the bits. we go. Twist it around a little bit again there. Now what I want to do is I want to do one more, and then we'll get it into the fridge for at least an hour. By that time I'll be finished work and we can get on with making the sausage rolls. I should have used the other rolling pin, but I've started now. Beautiful. Right, third into the middle, third into there. That's it. Right, now I'm going to get this into the fridge and get that chilled down. Right guys, so the pastry's in the fridge and I'm just going to do some breadcrumbs with this leftover bread from that I had from yesterday. Like I say, I've just had it kept out overnight, just it's been stale now, but it's not rock hard. So, mind your ears. Oh, again, turn it on. I think this might be a bit too big. Seem to be rattling around there. Alright, Missy, just give us a minute and I'll feed you. Right, try again. Well, I'm just going to keep on with this. It's getting there, but I'm just going to get a little bit more of them big bits off. You don't want to sit and listen to this noise. Right, so there's still a few big bits in there, but I'm not worried too much about that. Let's get rid of the blade. The breadcrumbs aren't to bulk it out. What they do is any of the fat that comes out of the pork, this absorbs it, so you don't lose all of the moisture. So that'll be fine. There we go. What I'm going to do now is I am going to chop up the spring onions. Get a hold of this one. I'm using spring onions because they do cook better inside the sausage meat. Let's get rid of the horrible papery outside bits. There we go. Fairly fine. You don't want to chomp on a big bit of onion in your sausage roll. You just want that onion flavour. You could use chives instead. If you didn't want to use onions, you could just use the crispy onions, what I did in the bread the other week. You could put them in if you didn't mind a little bit of crunch in there as well. Or onion powder, anything you want. Run the knife through them. There we go. So I'm just going to get rid of this lot, and then we'll get on with making the sausage meat itself. Right, so I've weighed this little bit. There's 200 grams that's there, and that's a 500 gram tub from a new tub. So that's 700 grams of pork mince altogether. Get rid of that. Put that in there. Bit of the meat nappy. Right, so I'm just gonna put it all apart a little bit there. Right. The first thing that's going to go in is the chopped up onions. And some salt. This is 700 grams of pork, so you need quite a bit of salt in there to salt it all the way through. And some pepper. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to use white pepper, I think, so you're not munching on big bits of black pepper. I'm going to use a teaspoon of black pepper. I also want about a teaspoon of sage. Is that going to be enough in there? Oh, look at that. Might as well put that little bit in. And sprinkling the breadcrumbs. Right, and then the best thing to do with this, guys, is just get your hands in. Scrunch it all out. Get it all mixed in. Try to make sure that everything's all incorporated all the way through. The more you do this, the better it is. If you're squeamish, you can use a spoon, but to be honest, your hands are the best tools in the kitchen. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to wash my hands a little bit. And then I'm going to get rid of all of my bits and pieces, and then I'll come back to you. Right, so I've had a bit of a tidy up, and I'm just getting some cling film out, and I forgot to put parsley in me sausage meat mix, but I'm not worried about that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this onto here. I always forget something, don't I? Right, I'm going to get that into a long sort of sausage shape. Try and make it even all the way along. Right, and then I'm going to wrap that round there like that. Twist the edges. Twist one way and one the other. Try and get it. Best thing to do is to put a bit of a knot in one end, like so, and then just push it. So if you can see, and then if you roll, tightens it right up. put a knot in the other side. And then I'm going to put this in the fridge for about half an hour just to firm up, because obviously my hands were warm. And when that comes out, we'll make some sausage rolls. Right guys, so I've got this the pastry and the sausage meat out of the fridge. I've used the butter paper to grease the bottom of my pan. So I'm just going to pop that over there for now. And there's my rough puff pastry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a butter knife, go down the middle of that. I'm going to use slightly bigger than half. It's only because I've cut it that way. And as you can see, and then I've got right through at the bottom, all of the different layers on there. So I'm just going to pop that to one side, pop that back in the fridge. If I use it, I use it. If I don't, it'll go in the freezer. And then we'll get on with making my sausage rolls. Right, so I'm just going to use a bit of, cut this in half again. One is for one flavour and the other is for the other. Love it when you see that. It's got all of the layers in there. How lovely. So, just a matter of rolling this out now. Oh. So I want this to be about the same size as that, so that size is great. I just need to bring it up this way. So what I'll do is I'll continue to do that and then we'll come back. Right, so I've rolled my pastry out. I've just put it over there for now. So I'm just going to get this out of here. A little pair of scissors. And a bit of the cling film. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I am going to cut it in half lengthways. So I'm going to try not to handle this as much as what I would like. So I'm just going to put that to one side. Get my pastry back, and then get the first one. I'll put it that way. Right, just spread it along a little bit. Still going to be pretty big sausage rolls, these guys. I'm just going to use my butter knife, just trim off. All these trims will get used, like that. Get my egg wash. Make sure you've got plenty on there. And then what we're going to do is just lift the pastry up and turn them over. Best thing to do is put it on the seam side down. Roll it backwards and forwards, or you can either pick it up, crimp it together like this on the seam side, just like that, and then roll it. Some wonderful sized sausage rolls there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. put that in 3. Doesn't matter if they're not all exactly the same size, they're all homemade, guys. It's the beauty of having them homemade. Now I'm just going to pop these onto here. And we will crack on with the flavoured ones. Just going to put them to one side for now. Just going to get a little bit cleaned up here and then we'll come back and do the others. Right, so I've rolled this one out as well now. And just to make sure that it fits. Yep, perfect. Now this is the one that's going to have the apple chutney on. What I want to do is I'm just going to spread that along. Branston pickle's lovely with this as well. I just couldn't get any. I could get some Branston pickle, I'm lying there. However, it was going to be a massive jar. And you know I hate waste. And even though, you know, it would get eaten. But sometimes, you know, when you get things and you just think, I've got to eat that, so I eat it for the sake of eating it. Whereas with this, it's a smaller jar. So I'm just going to pop that onto there. And again, bit of egg wash all over here. It's nice to have bits of cheese as well in there. That's nice. Apple. Sliced apples are nice. Obviously your pork sausage. And again, just bring this up and then squidge it in and turn it over. And just squidge it together like that. Stick perfectly with the egg on there. And then roll. See the seam on that? Just roll it a little bit. Again, in half. One third. And another third. One third. Bring this back along a little bit, move that out of the way, and get these on here. Just going to give a quick clean here, guys, and we'll come back. Right, so I've had a bit of a clean up, so now it's the matter of egg washing these. Just giving them a good egg wash on there. Make sure that your seam is still at the bottom, even though we've crimped it. Could still come undone a little bit, so just make sure that that's right at the bottom. And even these little end pieces here that don't look absolutely perfect will taste amazing. Okay, just give them a lovely egg wash all the way around. Then all that seasoning in there, the breadcrumbs, soak up any fat. So it'll still be lovely. See, I mean, my fingers have gone into this one. There. Last one. Now, if you could pop these back in the fridge and let that egg wash set, and then for about 10 minutes let it go nice and dry, and then you could put another egg wash on there. I haven't got room in my fridge, to be honest, so all I've got some here is some sesame seeds. So the ones that's got the chutney in, I'm just going to put a few little sesame seeds on the top. They'll just toast nicely and they do taste good. There we go. And on all of them, just going to give a nice crack of salt on the outside. I've got a preheated oven, which is at a 180 fan, so that'll be 200 non-fan, and these will probably take about 20, maybe 25 minutes, because they are pretty thick. When you look at the size of them, they're pretty thick, so we don't want them to cook all the way through. So I'll get these in the oven and then we'll come back to you once they're all cooked. Right, so the alarm's just gone off. I'm gonna check them. Oh, they look lovely. So I'm gonna probe one of them just to make sure that we are up the right temperature. Do that one there because it's the easiest to get into. Don't know if you can see that. Over 75 straight away. There we go. So what I do is I'm going to put these onto a wire rack because they're as hot as the sun right now. I'm going to get these on a wire rack, let them cool just a little bit until about room temperature, and then we'll have a go. Right guys, we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. Now I'm going to taste the food. So we have the ordinary sausage roll, and we have the one that has the chutney in. So both of them, you can hear that on the bottom, nice and crispy. So the first thing, I'm going to have the ordinary one first. I'm just going to cut it in half this way. Oh, nice and crispy bottom. There you go. Look at that. Just going to have a bit of a bite of this. That's really nice. You can taste the pork. Sorry to talk on my mouth full. You can taste the onion, you can taste the sage. Pastry's nice and crispy. Finish that one in a bit. So I'm going to taste the one with the chutney in. That's the apple and pear chutney that we got. Oh. There we go. Again, the same sausage meat. We've just got the apple and pear chutney on the outside. Let's have a little go. Bit of a big bite there, like. Now you've got the sweetness and the tang of the chutney. As well as that real flavourful sausage meat. Which one would I prefer? The one with the chutney. Definitely. Because you've got that little bit extra dimension. Don't get us wrong. The ordinary ones are absolutely perfect. But the one with the chutney in, it has got that little bit of sweetness in as well, which just helps a hell of a lot. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I know I have. It's a different pastry yet again. If there's anything that you want me to do, then just let me know and I'll have a look. I have got quite a list that's building up now, which is great because a lot of them are for winter. Excuse me, a lot of them are for winter dishes, so I've got a good arsenal that's going to come in the future. But if there's anything else that you'd like me to do, just let us know. I'll put it on my list and I'll have a look at it. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you very soon. See you later. Bye.